everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Tuesday night and I have my sketch challenge tonight, but I wanted to talk to you about a promotion that I'm starting. You may be aware that Stampin' Up! Demonstrators have the opportunity to earn an incentive trip every year. And last year I earned the incentive trip, which was supposed to be a cruise to the Western Caribbean, but unfortunately due to COVID it was canceled. But we got an amazing virtual incentive trip. And we're spoiled, I have to say. But this year the incentive trip is actually a cruise to the Norwegian fjords. And I am very close to earning that incentive trip again this year, very close, and I need your help. So what I'm doing is I'm going to switch it up a little bit, and from now till the end of August, I'm going to offer, based on the sketch challenge that I do on Tuesday nights, I'm going to offer a free gift with an order. So if you place an order of $35 or more in my online store, I'm going to say during the week that this sketch is posted, so you've got about a week, I will send you a make and take package with everything I've used for the sketch. Now you supply your own adhesive, your inks, and of course the stamp set. I can't stamp for you, but I will cut the dies. If your order is $65 or more, you'll get the make and take kit, as well as a package of festive pearls. And if you have an order of $120 or more, you'll get the make and take kit, the festive pearls, and a leaf ball 3-dimensional embossing folder. And I know I've showed you that one over in the last little while. I absolutely love the embossing folder. So a little bit of promotion for you, a thank you gift, and help for me, hopefully, because I am very close to earning that incentive trip. So I hope that this will be, you'll like the projects I do, and you'll enjoy getting the make and take kit with your order. All right, so I'm going to do that every Tuesday for the next few weeks and maybe into September, because I know I'm away for a week I'm going to New Orleans for Backstage in a couple of weeks' time. All right, enough with that. I'm going to post the information. Hey, Betty, welcome. Hey, Lynette. I'm going to post the sketch and, of course, the promotion. It will get posted in social media in about a half an hour. But let's get on with making the card that will be part of this, will be the make and take if you put an order in. All right, so that's the promotion I've talked about. I will post that information. Let's show you. Oh, and this is what your make and take will look like. I'm using the Cup of Tea or the Tea Boutique suite. So I've already got a package cut here. Really pretty in Daffodil Delight and Garden Green. So this is the sketch. So your card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and then your first layer, which is kind of the orangey color, is 4 inches by 5.25. I'll pull this up so maybe you can see. Then you've got 3 pieces of, I'm going to use designer series paper, but you can use cardstock. You can create your own designer series paper. You could use embossed pieces. Those pieces are 1.5 by 3 3/4. And then you've got 2 pieces that are about 1.25 inches square. Now, I'm going to use die cuts. So depending on the die cuts, if you're making this at home, these pieces may be slightly bigger. Mine are a little bit bigger because I'm using the teacup. And then your sentiment is about 1/2 inch by 3.5, and that will vary on the size of your sentiment. Mine is quite little, and so it's going to fit. I probably will have to cut it a little bit. But that's the sketch that we're going to use tonight. So let's bring in. So as I said, I'm using this Cup of Tea or Tea Boutique suite, and the suite includes the bundle, which is so much fun, as well as some amazing designer series paper. And I'm using this one that is the lemons. The other side is fresh freesia, but I really love how fresh this one is. This one in Daffodil Delight. Okay, let's make the card. So my card base, as I said, is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score it as always at 4 1/4.
All right, and grab your bone folder, and this is the side I score on. This is the raised line. So fold into the mountain or into that raised line and give it a good crease with your bone folder. Now my layer number 2, layer number 1, which is this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I've got 3 pieces of this beautiful designer series paper. So we're going to put those on first. So the way I typically do this when I've got 3 pieces is I kind of get them into the position where I want them. And in this case, I'm going to put the 2 end pieces on first because I can position them and get them kind of the same distance from the top, bottom, and edge. And then I will put the piece on in the middle. I just find that easier than me trying to, this one, try to get, put the middle piece on and then get them even. So I'm going to just kind of try and get the same distance from the top, the bottom, and the left-hand side. Now, I did not cut all of these pieces from the same piece of designer series paper, but if you did, I think 2 of the pieces are, you can match the patterns, even though there's a kind of a bit of a gap between them. All right, so there. And then this piece will just fit right in the middle. It might have a little bit wider gap than on the left and right edge, but it's not going to really matter too much. There we go. So you're not going to notice that much. Hey, Nancy. All right. And now this piece can adhere onto the card base. Isn't that so bright? I just love this lemon paper. And I have to admit, this was a paper that I wasn't so sure that I was going to like. Now, remember I said that your 1 1/4 inches blocks could be slightly bigger, or, well, probably not much smaller, but these are bigger than 1 1/4. But basically you're going to have 2 shapes, and then I've got my sentiment piece that's going to go at the bottom. So, but I want to do some stamping on these 2 because, you know, they're a little plain. So I grabbed there's a little tiny flower, and then there's a little tiny kind of stem. So I'm just going to stamp all of this in garden green. So I'm just going to do some stamping in garden green. Just, there's not a lot of room on these teacups, but we'll just put 3 of the flowers on. And then I'm just going to take and stamp some of the stems. Just because I need a pattern on these. There, that's quite pretty. So tone on tone. You could do the same technique with Versamark. If you've ever stamped in Versamark, it gives you a similar tone on tone. So if you don't have the color that you want, and you're stamping on the same, you know, on the cardstock, you can actually use Versamark, and it will give you a similar tone on tone. It won't maybe not be quite as dark as if you use the color of your cardstock. Now I've got this stamp. This is a tiny, tiny little stamp that says, "Thank you for your friendship." And because it's photopolymer, it does kind of make sure you get it straight, because it will kind of shift on you. And I want to lay it down. Now it's photopolymer, so I want to put some padding underneath it. So I'm going to use my piercing mat. I've got a part of a piercing mat. I'm going to stamp this in the middle, and I'm going to end up cutting. Oh gosh, that is a tiny little sentiment. Yeah, it is bright. So it says, "Thank you for your friendship," but it is very, very tiny. So that's going to go on like that, but let's put these on with dimensionals. Actually, before I put those on with dimensionals, I cut some extra pieces here. So there in the dies, there is this adorable, there is a stamped lemon, but I cut the one out from the using the die. So I'm just going to take and cut this right kind of there, and we will just take and I'm going to use a glue dot on the back, and you can just kind of cut that piece and then tuck it underneath the gosh, glue dot's sticking so much I'm having a hard time. Tuck it underneath the lip of the cup. Is that what it's called? The lip? The rim. Maybe it's the rim. All right, so we're just going to tuck it underneath like that. And of course, I've got the glue dot on the wrong side. That was not. Let's try that again. All right, now let's see if we don't get it stuck. All right. All right. And I'm just going to take just a little bit of glue, just a little dot, hopefully. That's what happens when you leave your glue open. Oops, now I got a big glob. See, good thing I did that on a... For those of you that know me, you know I hate getting glue on my fingers, and I got glue on my fingers. All right, there we go. So now I can take and put this kind of right, I'm going to put that one there. And then the other one, I have cut out one of these. There are two dies. Hey, Lily, welcome. There are two of these tiny, tiny little dies. There's actually a bigger die, which I've managed to lose. Misplace, I guess. I'm hoping it's not lost. And so I'm going to just take and use I'm going to put this on like that. Now I grabbed some of, this is linen thread, so I'm just going to cut a piece. You really only need an inch or less. So I'm going to take a glue dot and put this on the end of this piece of linen thread. And we will just tuck this underneath that. And now we'll just kind of bring this down. Let's use a bit of glue on my hands. Ah. All right. So we're going to use a dimensional, and we're going to bring this, you can see this piece of thread is now sticking out from under. So we're just going to take and hold that down using, there we go, can you see the linen thread? So like a tea bag, that's kind of the tea bag label. All right, so I got lemon in one, a tea bag showing. So this, because it's awfully long for mine, I'm just going to take and cut the ends in the banner or tag flag ends, banner ends, I call them. So when I do mine, I always cut up from the middle and then cut from each side. So I hopefully will get the points in the middle. And we'll pop this up. So like I said, you could do this same project with if you didn't have designer series paper, although most of us have designer series paper, but you could also do it with an embossed cardstock. You could make your own designer series paper. Lots of options for this particular sketch. Now I grabbed these heart. These are the heart pearls. They're just so pretty. little tiny pearls shaped like hearts, and I'm just going to take and put 2 sizes. So let's put a couple of them on one and just one. Let's put that on the label like that. So I've got my little hearts on there now. And then the last thing we're going to do is, oh, I've got more glue. Okay, now I really have to get a baby wipe out. Get the glue off my fingers. There we go. Okay, so there's some great stamps in this. I could stamp one of these. So let's stamp one of these great striped teacups. Like that. So I've just stamped that in garden green so that I finish. Thanks, Betty. So at least I've got the inside of the card finished, and then I can write my note. Those darn dimensional backings. I get them all over. I go downstairs and I find them on the floor. I don't know whether my dog tracks them. Maybe I track them. I don't know. All right. A little bit of glue on there. I'll have to fix that. All right. So I think that's quite pretty. Isn't that a bright and cheery card? It's kind of fun with the label and the lemon. So I'll bring back my sketch. So again, my pieces, because I die cut, are a little bit bigger than what I said, the 1 1/4 inch. But I always say a sketch is just guidelines, so you can kind of play with it and make the sketch your own. Yeah, just a fun card. All right. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, this sketch will go live in just over 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes on my Facebook group page and also on Instagram. So you can grab it from there and make it. Now, if you're not part of my Facebook group, the link to my Facebook group is underneath this video, and you will be able to post your cards, because every month I do a draw for 3 or 4 people who have shared cards over the month and send them some happy mail. So if you're interested in sharing your cards, make sure you join my group, because I'd love to see what you're creating as well. Don't forget this promotion that I've got going on through at least the end of August, where you can get the make and take kit for this sketch, and then depending on how much your order is, some other free things like the festive pearls or the leaf ball embossing folder. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great evening. Thanks for joining me. I will be back live on Thursday night with a technique. I hope you'll join me then, and hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.